Hello, dear student. Very good morning to all of you. So, dear student, today we are going to discuss polity current affair of our Strive 365. Here we are going to see Strive 365. Here we are going to see about 1 year current affair for your UPSC Prelims 2026 and other state PCS exam as well. So here, starting from today, we are going to see about polity current affair. So it is from June onwards. So June 2025. June 2025 onward, we are going to see, I'll complete entire current affairs. So, each and every day will provide around 15 to 20 minutes of current affairs. So please do watch it regularly. So first important topic that we are going to discuss is about the 50 year of emergency. So why it is in news? Because 2025 marked the 50 year of imposition of national emergency, and that is what declared in 1975, and it is lasting until 1977. This date are sometime they ask in chronological order, so arrange them in occurrence in first to last. So that is the reason you need to remember 1975 to 1977 last the emergency, to answer the UPSC question. So next important question, why we have imposed this emergency, or Indira Gandhi government imposed the emergency. So first one is about the social unrest. So if you look study about this time, you will find this time our economy was not doing well. So there are a lot of large number of unemployment, inflation is going on. So that is the reason students are started protesting against the government. So that is what create the social unrest, particularly Gujarat and Bihar. And protest, strike, and demonstration, notably by JP movement led by the Joy Prakash Narayan. So the Joy Prakash Narayan was Gandhian leader. So the movement is called a JP movement. So next is about the economic crisis. So post 1971 war. So this is what called Bangladesh Liberation War. Here, we have gear of all our economy towards fighting against the Bangladesh. So our economy after the war ended, our economy faced a lot of crisis because during war we have to divert all resources towards meeting the need of the defense. After end of the its war created economic crisis. So next political factor, the Allahabad High Court invalidated the Indira Gandhi election. So that is what led to the create instability. And at this moment, Jai Prakash Narayan give a call for called total revolution and given order to all government officials not to obey the order issued by Indira Gandhi. So that is what led to the imposition of emergency by the Indira Gandhi. Okay, so these are the trigger point for imposition of the national emergency. So next is major constitutional amendment during emergency. So during emergency, we have seen so many constitutional amendment being done by the Indira Gandhi government to transform, the executive is more powerful and reduce the power of judiciary. So first one is about the 38th constitutional amendment. So it is bar the judicial review of emergency declared by making president satisfaction is final. That means once national emergency is imposed, it cannot review in Supreme Court. So it is final. So that means taking away the judicial review in case of emergency power. So next is at the 39th constitutional amendment. Here they change the method of deciding election dispute. So under this constitutional amendment, it is made that in case of election dispute of president, vice president, and prime minister and speaker, so they should not be decided by the Supreme Court. It should be decided by such authority as determined by the parliament. They simply want to take away the dispute deciding of decision or adjudication of the dispute by Supreme Court to any body that is being decided by the parliament. Okay, so and next amendment that is being held during this emergency, it is called 42nd constitutional amendment. So dear student, can you write in the comment box what is the other name of 42nd constitutional amendment, which is very important. You have to remember this 42nd constitutional amendment and 44th constitutional amendment. So it is also called as mini constitutions. Okay, so already UPSC Mains they ask question also. So what are the changes brought by the 42nd constitutional amendment act, and multiple prelims question they ask regarding that also. So in 42nd constitutional amendment act, what kind of changes they brought? So gave primacy to the directive principle over fundamental right under Article 31C. So actually after Indira Gandhi government want to implement some of the socialistic principle, but people are moving towards the Supreme Court to protect their fundamental right, like right to property. So that is what led to the tussle between the directive principle of like DPSP versus fundamental rights. So this constitutional amendment give more importance to the DPSP. That means state can acquire property, state can violate the fundamental right. So that is what first point is. Second is next curtail the power of Supreme Court and High Court by various measures. So through this 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, it tried to make executive more powerful as compared to the Supreme Court, so that they can act, they can implement all these things without any hurdles. For example, insert Article 32A to deny Supreme Court power to consider constitutional validity of state law. Okay, that means it's basically taking away all the judicial review. So, dear student, can you tell me what is mentioned in Article 32 of the Constitution? So, Article 32 and Article 226, Article 32 and 226 of Indian Constitution mention about what? It's very important. Just write. Let me see how many of you know that. Write in the comment box. So, deny the High Court power to check constitutional validity of central law. Okay. So then also extend the Lok Sabha terms from 5 years to 6 years. So this is also you need to remember. So they can ask, this can be used to ask multiple question. They can give 2 to 3 statement and ask which of above are being implemented in 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Question can be framed from here. Okay. So while you are reading, you need to have some understanding, some logic. What are the changes brought about that, so that you can easily find in the examinations. So next is post-emergency reform. So after emergency, there is a defeat of Indira Gandhi government and formation of the Janata Party, and after they forming the government, so they form a Saha Commission, and Saha Commission, they inquire about the abuse like sterilization, government employee forcibly retired, okay, and they provide lot of suggestion. On that basis, the Janata government, they amend they provide the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. So here there are a lot of safeguard introduced to prevent misuse of national emergency. So first one is about the changes under the Article 352. Article 352 provide for the national emergency. So what are the changes they have brought? So they have changed the meaning of internal disturbances. So internal disturbances to armed rebellion. So that means we can impose national emergency on the ground of armed rebellion, not internal disturbances, to reduce the misuse. So made union cabinet written advice to the president compulsory. So what happened during this period, 1975 emergency, Indira Gandhi gave suggestions to the president without consulting the cabinet. So here we need the cabinet approval for the emergency, not only the prime minister. So next is mandated special majority of parliament within 1 month. Once we have implemented or imposed the national emergency, we need to pass that in the parliament with special majority. That means 2/3 present and voting and more than 50% of the strength. Then only national emergency can be continue. Otherwise, it will be not continue. So next is fundamental rights. So Article 20 and 21 remain enforceable during emergency under Article 359. So whatever may be the emergency, whatever may be the condition, Article 20, that means after your arrest, and Article 21, right to life and personal liberty, always remain there. So it is here to protect you. Okay. So we'll see about that, this two article little bit of later. So next is right to property. So a lot of students commit mistake. Right to property is moved from fundamental right to constitutional right in 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, not 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So this can be a very good question, under which Constitutional Amendment Act it is shifted, the right to property shifted from the fundamental right to constitutional right. It is 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. So next is Article 257, remove the center power to deploy force in the state. So what used to be, the central government, they used to deploy the paramilitary forces or central armed police force to the state government without consent of the state. So that is what led to the tussle between the center and state, and that is what harming our cooperative federalism. So here it is removed so that cooperative federalism can be restored. So term of Lok Sabha back to the 5 year. Again, is to restore back to the 5 year. So restore judicial power to review the president and vice presidential election. So again, in case of any dispute, so both High Court, Supreme Court can adjudicate dispute related to president and vice president elections. Okay. So I hope everything is clear. If you are able to understand, please write in the comment box. Okay. Or if you are facing any kind of issue, definitely you can write. So next is about national emergency. Something about national emergency you need to know. So what are the ground under which we can implement or impose the national emergency? First, we need to know about the article. Article 352 of Indian Constitution provide for the national emergency. And there are 3 ground under which we can impose the national emergency. So first one is war, external aggression, and third one is about the armed rebellion. These 3 ground we can implement. So next is proclamation. So declared by the president on written advice of the cabinet. So to impose national emergency, president need approval of the cabinet, not only the prime minister. So approval. So after its imposition, it need to be passed by the parliament with special majority within 1 month. So special majority means 2/3 present and voting. That must be more than 50% strength of the house. So duration, it can continue for 6 months, but it can be renewed any number of times. Okay. So revocation means removal or stopping. How we can stop this national emergency? By president, simply by issuing order, or if Lok Sabha pass a resolution with a simple majority. Simple majority means 50% present and voting. If Lok Sabha pass a resolution of discontinuation of this national emergency with 50% present and voting, in that case we can also stop this national emergency. Okay. Hope this point is very clear. This is very important for your prelims. They can pick one or two statement and modify a little bit, and they can ask how many of above statement are correct. So you need to be very careful about that. So next is effect of proclamation of national emergency. So during national emergency, what kind of relation we are going to have impact? So first one is about the center state relations. So I think you already know that this is center and this state. So there is a vertical relationship exists. So this relationship is going to be dilute during the national emergency. So center can direct state on any subject. Center can issue direction for doing something on the any subject, even in the something in the state list, something in the concurrent list. For example, center can issue directions to the state government for protection of particular roads, particular let's say the railway stations, anything. So state have to obey that. Second, parliament can legislature on the state list. So I think you already know there are three lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. So union list, union can make law; state list, state can make law. But during national emergency, even union can make law on the state list. Okay. So a revenue distribution may be altered by the president. So the distribution of revenue between center and union and state, like as per the recommendation of the the finance commission, can be altered during the emergency. So next is on the legislature. So how this relation is modified on the legislature. So Lok Sabha and state assembly term may extendable by 1 year, limited to 6 months post emergency. That means the term 5 year can be increased 6 year, 7 year, 8 year, but 1 year at a time. And after completion of the emergency, it cannot continue for more than 6 months. Let's say today emergency is ended, so within 6 months we cannot extend it. We have to re-elect and freshly we have to form the government. Okay, that is what. So next is on fundamental rights. So how national emergency is going to impact our fundamental right? So it is Article 19 is suspend only during war and external aggression. That means Article 19, that is freedom of speech and expression, suspended during external emergency whenever war or external aggression is there. Other case it is not going to suspend. So other rights like Article 20 and 21 uh, uh, will never suspend, but except this Article 20, 21, other right can be suspended as for the order given by the president. If president want to suspend this right, that right, they can suspend, but Article 20 and 21 cannot be suspended under any condition. So what Article 20 is providing? Protecting against wrongful convictions. Once you have arrested, so after that, what kind of protection given to you? No retrospective law. That means, let's say a person is committing a crime, and crime is at that time it provides imprisonment of 1 year. But after completion of crime, this is the law. You cannot change the law and say that this person should be given 50 years of imprisonment. No, this is what called retrospective, means past application of law. So if now we have changed this 1 year to 15-year imprisonment, if someone is committing crime now, in that case, that person can be given 15-year imprisonment. If a person commit a crime at that time, the punishment is 1 year, so that person can only given this 1 year. So that is what called no retrospective law. Law cannot apply previously. Law have to apply from current situation. So next is double jeopardy. So a person cannot punish twice for same crime. Okay? That is what called double jeopardy. So self-incrimination. So we cannot force a person to give evidence against you. I think you already know in police custody, you can take evidence by using torture. So to protect that, that is the reason whatever confession you are made before police is not admissible before any court. Okay? So self-incrimination means forcing a person to give evidence against that individual. So next is Article 21, guarantee fundamental right to life, personal liberty, life, dignity, and privacy. So these two articles will never suspend under whatever may be the circumstances. So other right except this 2021 suspended by the presidential order under Article 359. So hope this is very clear. So if you are able to understand it, please write in the comment box. If you are facing any kind of issue, definitely you also write so that I can modify it. Okay, so your feedback is very essential. Without that, it is very difficult for me to know what's going on. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So next important the current affair that we are going to discuss is about personality, right? So we all are individual. We are having some unique style of talking, unique style or smile, even some dimple. So these are actually some personality traits. But nowadays, what happened because of this AI? So they are copying these traits and misusing that. So that is what led to the demand for recognition of the personality right. So why it is in news? So recently, Delhi court given the personality right protections to the Sadhguru Jaggi Basudev from misuse by the AI website and platform. Okay. So what is personality right? So personality right refer to the right of an individual to control unauthorized use of their personal attribute. For example, your look, your smile, your voice, like name, image, voice. So likeness, distinct expression, traits, including both commercial and non-commercial aspect. So I think you already know there are a lot of misuse of KVC, like Amitabh Bachchan voice. So that is also a personality right that can be protected. So personality right are not expressively mentioned in any statute. So as of now, there is not in a single law that clearly mentioned about protection of that right. So that is what led to the demand for protection of the personality right. So component of the personality right, what are the different component of the personality right? So right to publicity. So it is your right. You can show that, you can commercialize that, you can restrict other from misusing that also. Okay. So it is partially covered under the trademark. Trademark means symbol. So here it is the trademark of Strivage IS na. So same trademarks means the logo that is you are using, that is protected. So and copyright also protected. So right to privacy. So prevent unauthorized public representation of hold under the Article 21 as given in the Puttaswamy judgment. So I think you already know Puttaswamy judgment. Justice Puttaswamy judgment. It is held that right to privacy is protected under Article 21. So you cannot misuse someone personality traits for your use without permission of that person. Okay. So I think here it is under the Emblem Act. So it is prohibit the use of image of Mahatma Gandhi and Prime Minister for commercial purpose. Okay. So this is what I don't think there is much news about that. So if you know about what is personality right, why it is protected, best example is Amitabh Bachchan's KVC. So I think KVC you see there is a misuse of that voice, misuse of that tone. So Amitabh Bachchan can file that. No person can be used that without permission of Amitabh Bachchan ji. Okay. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. सो नेक्स्ट important topic is about interstate river water dispute. So I think you know that India is a federal state. So there are a lot of state and river they flow from one state to other state. Let's say this is India. So these are so many states here. So let's say river is flowing like that. This from up past state is called upper riparian state and lower is called lower riparian state. So that is the reason if river is flowing through the multiple states and one state is constructing a lot of dams to store or prevent the water flow, that is what led to the interstate river water dispute. So why it is in news? So Rabi and BS Water Tribunal got 1 year extensions to settle the sharing between the Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. So you need to remember which tribunal deals with the sharing of river water dispute among which state. For example, Ravi and Bias that deals with Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan, 3 states. So they can ask about let's say Ravi Bias water tribunal dispute deals with sharing of the water among which state. So they can write Punjab, Haryana, then Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh. So how many above are correct? So only one, only two, only three, only four, like that they can ask. So more on the news. So recently, central government also formed a technical committee on Polavaram, Banakachalara link project and Telangana, Andhra Pradesh to settle the Telangana Andhra Pradesh water dispute. So I think the formation of Telangana Andhra Pradesh also created a lot of river water disputes. Odisha, Chhattisgarh also fight for Mahanadi dispute, but they have recently decided that they'll solve that through amicably or peaceful means, which is very good thing. So that can be, if it is successful, it can be model for other also. So if you look into interstate river water dispute, you'll find there exists since colonial times. So for example, Kaveri conflict between Madras and Mysore, they continue since colonial time. Then big question, why interstate river water dispute are rising very frequently in India. So first one is asymmetric access. For example, geography, already I have told you. So the upper riparian state, so this is the Western Ghat, lot of rainfall is there here, so river are flowing downstream. So there are three states, upper riparian state, they are constructing lot of dam and they are storing water, and that is the reason less amount of water is available to the lower riparian states. So they are concerned about their water availability. So geography, so upper riparian states enjoying advantages. Next is state reorganization boundary drawn without a reservation focus. For example, we have created Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and without looking into the Krishna and Godavari water, how they are going to share among themselves. That is what led to the lot of dispute between the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So next is increasing demand. So I think you know that rising population, urbanization, farming, and we are also doing the water intensive cultivation. So that is what led to the rising demand for more water. For example, in Kaveri Basin, there is a farmer are cultivating water intensive crop like paddy. So that is what led to the more demand for the water from the Kaveri rivers. So that is what also create disputes. So next is developmental project. So whenever there is any dam constructed by the upper riparian state, so there is a fear among the lower riparian state. For example, Narmada, Kaveri. So this is what creating. I think you already know about lot of river dispute, dam related dispute is going on. Okay. So next is fragmented governance. So union weak structure for dispute resolution. So if you look into the our current architecture for resolution of dispute, you'll find there is a weak structure. So states conflict strategy and narrow approach. So state, they are simply concerned about politicizing the issue to get maximum benefit. Next is on scientific, no basin based management. So we are not focusing river as a unit, rather we are concerning about only sharing of water. So we need to holistically consider what amount of water available, what are the total population on that basin. So accordingly, if we can scientifically allocate, then definitely we can solve it, but we are not doing that. So data gaps. So we don't have actual data of what amount of water available, what amount of water is flowing. So that is what creating trouble, or that is what creating doubt among the people also. So next is legal and constitutional framework. So if you look into our constitutional framework to deals with the interstate river water dispute, you'll find article 226(1). It provide for parliament to make law for adjudication of interstate river water dispute. That means parliament can make law, establish bodies, establish tribunal for adjudication of interstate river water dispute. So under that article 226, it's saying that court are bar from jurisdiction. So that means any, if anything, all these interstate river water dispute, they're barred from the jurisdiction of any court, including Supreme Court. Okay. So by using this article 226, the parliament made some law regarding that. So first one is about the River Board Act 1956. This date is very important. Sometimes they ask about chronological order. So union may set off board to regulate interstate river. So whenever a river is flowing from one state to another state, so they can establish interstate board to regulate how the water should flow from one state to another state. Already we have River Board Act 1956. Second one is about the interstate river water dispute. So interstate river water dispute established, they provide for establishment of the tribunal for settlement of interstate river water dispute. So these two act we have passed under article 262. So if you see about the list, so you can find that interstate river is under the union list. Obviously interstate river cannot be under one state, otherwise if it is deals with two states, so definitely it should be come under the union. But something within the state, for example water use, irrigation, it is a state subject. So this can be a very good question. So interstate river water falls under the which subject of constitution, like with a list of the constitution. It can be union list, state list, concurrent list, or none. It is only in the interstate is union list. Chaliye? So the next question, if we are parliament has prepared some law, then everything is there, then why we are not able to solve this issue? So that is the challenges in resolving the interstate river water dispute. So first one is delay. So delay in formation of the tribunal. First, if there is a dispute arises and they report to the central government, then there is a lot of delay to form this tribunal. It takes decades. For example, Kaveri tribunal set up in 1990s after decades. So when there is a dispute arise after 10 years, they establish the tribunal, and then tribunal takes lot of 10, 9 year, 4 year, 10 year to simply give the judgment. Just imagine 20 year gone there. Then even if tribunal is given its judgment, but so unless it is notified, there is no implementation of that judgment. So they are also taking 3 year, 4 year for notification of the judgment by the government. Okay. So interstate river water dispute act tribunal award publish is equals to the Supreme Court decree. So once it is published, it is having decree of the Supreme Court, but they are not publishing. So these are the reason for creating unnecessary delay for settlement of disputes. So next one is about the politicizations. So each state government to appeal their local people to politicize the issue. So it is making it very difficult for finding a solution, ignoring the social environmental aspect of it. Okay, so they are simply concerned about vote bank. So next is lack of participation. Local communities, states, and stakeholders are often excluded. So if people are not participated, so that means all these the awards, they are not reflecting the wish of the people. So definitely they are not going to obey it. The next is Supreme Court. So it is categorically banned. So it is categorically banned, Supreme Court intervention in the interstate river water dispute. But again, Supreme Court intervening by using special leave petition under Article 136 of Indian Constitution. So that is what also create lot of delay. So though it is cannot adjudicate, Supreme Court interpret tribunal award causing delay. Kaveri 2007, Kaveri 2007 final Supreme Court verdict later come with modification. So though it is bar intervention by the any court including Supreme Court, but Supreme Court still intervene under special leave petition. So that is what create lot of delay. So to solve this, state government, the union government taken a lot of state. For example, interstate river water dispute bill introduced, but it was lapsed. Next is a draft river basin management bill. It was also not able to pass. And recently, government started a project called National River Linking Project. So we are planning to link some river having surplus water with the river having deficit water, so that we can ensure that water is available throughout the year. Okay. So way forward, definitely we need to have cooperative federalism, like discussion, dialogue, and give and take approach to solve all this issue. Ultimately, fighting cannot find the solution. We have to follow the cooperative federalism. Union can be act as a mediator. Niti Aayog can be a good forum to host, discuss about it. So policy intervention, so bring interstate river water dispute under the interstate council also. So interstate council is a constitutional body having all chief minister, prime minister. They can discuss it, they can find solutions to it also. Then legislator, we need to amend the interstate river water dispute and river basin management bill to make it more efficient. Next is data collection. So we are living in AI, so we can use AI and other things to make sure that data real time available. So that is what helpful for taking decisions. So next is stakeholder engagement. So ensuring community role in water planning and management. For example, we can use agroclimatic based cropping, we can use deep irrigation, we can use something to reduce the demand of water itself. Na? Okay. Hope, dear student, you are able to understand this article. So if you are facing any kind of issue, definitely you can write in the comment box. If you are able to understand, you can also give a thumbs up, so that I'll able to understand what's going on. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So next is cost of politics in India. So I think you already know, in India, it's to contest elections, to win election, you need lot of money. So as for ADR report, so this election, they have a political party, they spend 60,000 crore. Just imagine 6,000 crore total. Let's say, I'm just hypothetically 600 constituency. That means 100 crore per constituency. We are spending huge amount of money. When political party spending huge amount of money, how they are, what will be their objective? Simply to recover the money they have spent. So that is what the cost that we have to pay if we are not able to control the electoral funding. Okay. So major funding, this study found by the overseas research foundation, not important, you can just ignore it. Major finding kya hai? Campaign cost. So Lok Sabha, in the election, so campaign cost is very high. So in rich state, like rich state Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, campaigning cost is very high. So rising routine expenditure like event, constituent support, so that is also increasing expenditure. Then social media, now it's must, so everyone is having social media to reach out their cost to our followers, so they are also spending. Then vote buying, I think note for vote, one day before election, I think you all know how much money the political party they spends to simply buy the vote. So next is cost driver of the politics, so outreach, logistics, so all these factors are rising, making the cost of election is quite high. So then if political party are paying so much of money to contest election, they will definitely recover, so there will be have implications. So how? So during election, businessmen, they fund political party, and when political party comes to power, they in terms help the businessmen to grow. So that is what called crony capitalism. Crony, that means political party will become richer and nation will be become poorer. For example, our debt level are rising from year after year, but some corporate some corporate, they are become richer and richer. How this is possible? This is possible because we are selling land for 50 or 60 or at 1 rupees. You can understand this is what happened because of corporate funding. Okay. So next is fundraising priority. So when political parties spending so much of money, so what their first priority, how they can collect back this money with 10 times. So someone, if a candidate is spending 100 crore, so that person will try to recover 1000 crore. That is what the problem. So next is corruption risk. Yes, how you are going to recover that? By using corruption. So that is the reason our rank in the transparency international perception corruption index is very high. Okay. So impact on the democracy. So people will lose trust because they know that those who are winning, those who are their candidate are elected, they are corrupt, they are criminal. So poor transparency lower the voter faith, reduce their participation, and they'll not participate in election. They'll believe that उनका participation से क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा. So next is power capture. So big, those who are money, those who are muscles, those who are having big influential, they will capture all these powers. Okay, so that is what create the problem. So next is barrier for the underprivileges. So I think you all aspirants, so you have talent, UPSC aspirant, you can also contest election, but because of this money, you are not able to contest it. So cost prevent women, youth, and non-elite from the contesting elections. So way forward. So what kind of step we can take? We need to have spending limit at this moment of time. Individual, there is a limit on the individual spending, but political party, there is no limit on the political party can go on spending. So we need to ensure that should be a proper limit by strengthening ECI oversight. So election commission can oversight over it. Next is judicial support and enforce the caps just like the UK models. So next is constitutional status. So we can give constitutional status to our political party so that entire their operation can be brought under the RTI Act, where they are getting funding, how they are spending, so that can bring about transparency. Next is state funding of election. For example, if there is an election, let's say BJP, Congress, or other party, let's say BJP is having 32%, Congress is having, let's say, 22%. So and other parties having total 100%. So we can pay according to percentage of share of their vote as a state funding. Okay. So reduce corporate influence and add smaller party by supported by the multiple commissions. So state funding of election can be used. So next is voter sensitization. So we need to create awareness among our youth to let them know about the power of their vote. They can change about society. Okay, so that they will not accept bribes. They will not sell their vote for 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. Rather, they will make their vote count and bring about changes. So awareness drive by the Election Commission of India, media, civil society to limit money powers. So real-time donation closure, real-time donation disclosure, increasing transparency as in US model. Okay. So these are some steps we can take to make our election low cost and more transparent and reduce the influence of the money power. So next important topic that we are going to cover is lowering the age of voting. So all over the world, multiple countries, they are proposing to reduce their voting age from 18 to 16. Countries like Germany, Austria, Malta, Estonia, Argentina, Nicaragua, they lower their voting age from 18 to 16. So that is what led to the demand that India should do the same thing. Even UK also announced plan to reduce the voting age from 18 to 16. So a private member bill was introduced in 2020. They proposed to reduce the voting age from 18 to 17. So it was private member bill. That means bill that is being introduced other than a minister is called private member. Other than a minister, it can be the ruling party. But if it is not a minister, then we can call private member bill. So what are the constitutional provision related to voting age? So in India, any person more than age 18 or not disqualify otherwise uh, eligible for the voting. That is what called universal suffrage to the citizen age 18 and above. And this is very important. So 61 Constitutional Amendment Act, we have reduced the voting age from 21 to 18. So right to vote is a statutory. Already UPSC asked. So right to vote is what kind of right? First one is it is written fundamental right, second constitutional right, third is statutory right, fourth is none. So even Supreme Court given multiple times, sometimes constitutional right, sometimes statutory right, said multiple times, sometimes it is fundamental right. As of now, it is right to vote is a statutory right. That means it is recognized through the Representation of People Act. Okay. So changeable by ordinary law. So simple law, you can change it. Okay. So There is a argument why we should reduce the voting age in India. So first is cognitive maturity. Our youth are mature because they are exposing social media, lot of exposure are there. So that is what we need to make them choices so they can vote for their changes. So next is intergenerational equity. So if they are in 16, so if we are not giving them any voting right, but we are deciding their fate. So that is what they are saying, intergenerational equality. So exclusion of under 8 favor older voter and limit future oriented policies. So if we can giving them power of voting, so they can bring about the changes. So next is broader manifesto. If they you give them power, voting rights, so they will bring about like issue of education, child right, gender justice. Then youth is also going to engage in our political activity, leads to the awareness, strengthening of our democracy. The more we make sure that people are participating in a political system, it is going to strengthen our democracy. So that is the reason it is planning to extend this voting or reduce the voting age from 18 to 16. So some argument against, for example, lack of maturity. So I think people I believe that those who are in the adolescent age, so they lack the maturity. So voter turnout is very less, even if you can see 40% in the 2024 election also. So as threshold class, so there are a lot of other area where it is recognized 18 year as a legal age. If you reduce the age to the 16, so we have to reduce everywhere. So that might create multiplicity of age criteria. So we have to take that into consideration. Then logistical burden. So rapid surge in number of voter also create. We need to establish more voting polling booth, more officers, more election duty, more EVM. So that is what also going to create the trouble. Okay. So hope it is clear to everyone. So if you are able to understand it, please like in the comment, write in the comment box. If you are not able to understand what kind of problem you are facing, please do let me know. Otherwise, it's very difficult for me because it's not an interactive class. So next important topic, the Constitution of 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill. So recently, our Union Home Ministry introduced 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill in the Lok Sabha. So they bill provide removal of the prime minister, chief minister, minister in the center, state, Delhi, if they are held for custody, police custody for more than 30 days. Okay. So they try to amend Article 75. They basically provide for the Union Executive. 164, it is provide for the State Executive. Article 239 AA for Delhi of the Constitutions. Similar provision for Puducherry, similar for the Jammu Kashmir. So as of now, the bill is referred to the Joint Parliamentary Committee. Joint Parliamentary Committee having member from the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha to scrutiny bill and to check whether there is misuse or some provision. So currently it is on the Joint Parliamentary Committee. So key provision of the constitutional bills, what are the provisions? So the Union Minister, CM, State Minister remove if they arrest and detain for 30 consecutive day for an offense that is punishable for more than 5 years. If that is punishable for more than 5 years, they can be removed. So this is also applied to the Prime Minister also. So removal procedure. So in case of any minister other than the prime minister, in case of union government, so they prime minister need to be suggest to the president if they are imprisoned or they're not they are arrested for more than 30 days. So if prime minister not recommend, then automatically that person will be disqualified. Same thing with the state government. State government, chief minister need to recommend to the governor for removal if some person is arrested for more than 30 days. Otherwise, that person will automatically disqualify. Same thing apply to the prime minister and chief minister. Okay. So argument in favor. So does we need this kind of bill? So some people says that constitutional morality. So according to our constitution, those who are having facing severe crime, having imprisonment more than 5 years, and they are held and they are arrested for 30 days, they should not held the government. Okay. Otherwise, it's create a negative image on the mind of the people. Lawbreaker cannot be a lawmaker. So next is public trust. So bill shows strong action against the corruption. See, because they are we have given this power of to these politicians to ensure that our resource should be properly utilized. If they are involved in corruption, definitely we need to remove them. So good governance, because some politician, political party, they are running government from the jail. Like let's say some chief minister or some union minister, if they are convicted of any, they are arrested, so they cannot run their government from the jail. So that is what create bad governance or governance issue. So bridge the legal gap. So cover the period between arrest and convictions. So fairness, for example, there is lack of equity. For example, if government employee is arrested, that person is suspended within 48 hours. But minister, it is not applicable to the minister also. So next is promote fairness in parties and balance fake arrest. some argument against, for example, political misuse. So I think you already know there is a misuse of ED and CBI by this government, union government against the state government. So that is, it can easy to arrest anyone for more than 30 days. So you can arrest any chief minister and arrest for 30 days, then disqualify him, that person, and then you can topple that government. Definitely it can be misuse also. We can see multiple occasion in past also. So the next is, in legal jurisprudence we believe that a person is innocence until proven guilty, but here we have first assumed that this person is guilty, then we are looking into his conviction. So that is what against our legal jurisprudence. So next is inconsistency. For example, an MP can lose his seats after conviction, but minister loses seats after the arrest. So this is what called inequality is not there. So next is a revolving door. For example, if a minister is arrested for more than 30 days, that person is have to resign, but after that they can reintroduce and become minister also by removing and rejoining. That is what create problem of governance, okay, instability. So next is politicization. Removal can be misused by the prime minister and chief minister to target the rivals also. So no safeguard, no relief for wrong arrest, misuse through law, like unlawful activity prevention act. So there is more scope of misuse. You can arrest anyone uh, for more than 30 days with charge that is for more than 5 year imprisonment. It's quite easy. So that is the reason there is a scope of misuse. So existing legal framework and judgment for disqualification. So representation of people act provide that. So under Repression of People Act, under Section 8(3), disqualify if a person is arrested for more than 2 years of imprisonment. If a person arrested, convicted of more than 2 years of imprisonment, that person is disqualified. But Lily Thomas case, Supreme Court earlier what used to be, if a person is already convicted by a lower court, more than 2 year imprisonment, that person should disqualify. But they file an appeal in High Court or Supreme Court, and they said that our conviction is pending, so we are not disqualified. That is what politician used to do. But Supreme Court said that once you are convicted with imprisonment more than 2 years, you have to disqualify even if you are filing appeal in High Court or in Supreme Court. So struck down Section 4 was shielded sitting member from disqualify after filing appeal. You can file appeal, no issue, but you have to disqualify if you are having imprisonment more than 2 years, even given by the lower court also. Okay. So Manoj Nerula case. So here Supreme Court said that there is no legal bar. There is no legal bar for the any person having past criminal background can be appointed as a minister. But it is clearly said that prime minister should avoid appointing such person to create moral turpitude. If a criminal is appointed, so that is what create a wrong signal among the society. People are accepted. People will force to accept that corruption or anything wrongdoing is acceptable. Okay. So PIL Public Interest Foundation, they have filed a case that Supreme Court should provide some legislation, but Supreme Court clearly state that lawmaking is domain of the legislature or parliament. So Supreme Court cannot make the law. So definitely it is the high time our parliament should make a law to cleanse our political system. Okay. So next is Election Commission of India also given a suggestion that if anyone is having charged 5 year or more imprisonment should be disqualified from contesting elections. Okay. So some of the suggestions that you can suggest, for example, interim suspension. For example, suspend minister during trial, not remove. You can suspend during this trial. So party role. So party should not pick candidate with criminal record. Party should not appoint any person having criminal record as the minister. So law commission disqualify on charge framing more than 5 years. So even law commission suggested that any person having any if facing any charges or more than 5 years, that person should be disqualified. So bail rule. So we should make that bail is the norm, jail is the exception. So only in case of heinous crime, we need to ensure jail. So fast track court can be established so that we can trial and ensure that this person is really having any corruption or any criminal activity or not. So next is independent review. So tribunal to check the removal and prevent misuse. Yes, we need some tribunal with Supreme Court, retired Supreme Court judges to prevent any misuse of any provisions. Hope it is clear. So if you are able to understand it, definitely you need to give suggestion, or if you're not able to understand why you are not able to understand, which section not able to understand, please write in the comment box. We'll discuss. So next is National Sports Governance Act. So recently we are seeing a lot of activities are going on in the sporting area. So we are modernizing, we are promoting sporting, we are aiming to host even the Olympic also. So to ensure all these things, recently President gave access to the National Sports Bill 2025. So sports governance in India. So how the sporting is governed in India. So sporting is a state list. This can be a very good question under 7 schedule. Sport is state list, not union list. So existing policy including national sports policy, then sports broadcasting signal act, they govern the sporting in India. So key regulatory body, so the sporting is coming under Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, responsible for national policy, sporting policy, funding, implementation and developmental program. So next is Sports Authority of India, so it's called SAI, lay down the policies and guideline for sports delivery system. SAI is basically responsible for policies and guideline for sporting system. So next is Indian Olympic Association, responsible for India's participation in Olympic Games and other international and multi-sports events. So IOA, Indian Olympic Association. So National Sports Federation, over 50 National Sports Federation administration their respective sports. So these are four administrative or regulatory body that regulate the sporting activity. But now under this act, they have established certain new institutions or the new regulation boards. So we are going to see one by one. So national sport body, so it is established National Olympic Committee, NOE, Paralympic Committee, sports federation affiliated with international body, with unit at the state and district level governed by the international charter. So they have to establish at the district level, at the state level as per the international charter. So क्या हमने establish किया? National Olympic Committee, Paralympic Committee, sports federation, ठीक है? So next is National Sporting Board. So National Sporting Board recognize sports body and affiliate. It gave affiliations to the different bodies, and only the recognized bodies get the funding. So to get funding, you need to get the affiliation from National Sporting Board. So National Sporting Board set code of ethics to ensure fair, to ensure ethical principle are upheld in the sports also. So member are appointed for expert in the sports. Currently what happened, political party, they politicians are appointed into the sports authority, so they are not giving any expertise, so we need to appoint expert sport person in there. So next is National Sport Tribunal. So to in case any dispute, so that need to be faster adjudication. For that we need to establish sports tribunal. So handle sports related dispute except those involving international body or international national sports federation. So election oversight. So the election that is being held, it should be held in a proper way. So we need to have election oversight. Central government power can exempt national body or affiliates from act for the public interest. Central government can exempt certain bodies or certain things from the purview of this act for promotion of the public interest or promotion of the sports. So why in India we need to have such a comprehensive law? First one is we don't have any uniform law. So there are multiplicity of law, that is what led to the confusion, so inconsistency and outdated regulations. So next is politician with little sports knowledge dominate. So if a person having no idea, if they dominate, that is what create a lot of problem. We can see even the FIFA suspend all India football federations because of external interference. So overlapping role of SAI, Sport Authority of India, Indian Olympic Association, National Sports Federation, create a lot of confusion and delay. And next is about the fund utilization. Even if we are given, first of all, we are giving little amount of fund. And in that little amount of fund, only 40% is being utilized for sporting development. You can imagine. This is the reason our very bad state of our sporting activity, and we are not able to win the medal that we should. So core implementation of national sports policy. Next is we are planning to host Olympic in 2036. For that, we need to have proper governance system in sporting activity. So that is the reason we need to have proper system. So next, some related news. So National Anti-Doping Bill. So bill amend the National Anti-Doping Act and was given President assent. So what is anti-doping? So in sporting, sometimes what happens, some athletes that take some substance that increase their performance so that they can win this sport, which is unethical, which is against the spirit of the sport. So all countries would prohibit, all the sporting federation, all the sporting organization, they need to prohibit the use of that drug or enhanced performance enhancers to ensure that we are recently enacting National Anti-Doping Bill. Okay, so prohibit doping in the sports and set framework for testing, enforcement and adjudication. It prohibit, and if there is any allegation, we can test that person and enforce, and we can also take action also. So it is aligned with UNESCO Convention Against the Doping. So UNESCO against the doping. It, it provide a convention that people should not use doping or performance enhancer. So national anti-doping agencies to enforce anti-doping rule. NADA is to enforce the anti-doping rule. So national board for anti-doping in sports to oversees NADA and advise the government. So I think at a world level, this is called WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency. So appeal panel now constituted by the central government, not national board. So now the appeal panel we need to form, that is being appointed by the central government. NADA members have the operational independence as for the WADA. So now national anti-doping agencies, they have operational independence. They are not dependent on the government as for the World Anti-Doping Agency's norms. So only specified bodies can appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sports. So that means we can remove the false appeal. So next is testing lab must have WADA accreditation. So that means to ensure credibility of testing lab, it should be accredited by the World Anti-Doping agencies. Okay? So next, anti-doping violation, adopt World Anti-Doping Code legal definition and schedule in India. So this is what going to helpful to improve our sporting governance, bring ethicality, and reduce the misuse or abuse of the substance that can doping or substance that can enhance the performance. So that is going to help in building image of India as a responsible sporting nation. So dear student, this is all about today news, today analysis of the polity news, polity analysis of polity current affair. So dear student, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to my channel, and please do share your thought in the comment box. If you have any suggestion, like how or what kind of classes, you are always welcome to give the feedback, and accordingly I'll make this video. So we have to end here. Chaliye dear student, bye bye, take care, have a good day, bye.